Hey everybody. So, as usual, gonna give it a minute here, let it send out some notifications. But in the meantime, if you guys can hear me all right, can you put a 1 in the chat, please? My microphone seemed to be glitching up a little bit, and I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay and that there's not any annoying buzzing or anything like that. Okay, I see Amy putting some ones in. Lewis is putting some ones in. Good, good, good. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Diane is in the house. Diane, thank you for stopping in. Um, so I'm not gonna wait too long, guys, for the notifications tonight. It's more of a spur of the moment thing, if I'm being honest. The last couple days, I have not slept much. Neither has my furry companion, who is sitting or laying down right next to me right now, because I do need to keep a close eye on him as well. Um, so yeah, we're pretty tired at this point, but I was feeling up to it enough that I wanted to give you guys an update on my health as well as his health and what exactly has been going on now for 9 months and what the steps are going to be moving forward. So, with that being said, tonight's live stream might not go for the full hour. I'm just going to share what I need to with you guys, and then I'm going to call it a wrap. So that way I could go lay down in my bed and get some more rest and probably even go to bed a little bit earlier tonight. I see Nancy coming in. Nancy, welcome. Thank you for stopping in. Um, yeah, and with that, tonight's live stream is also going to be brutally honest. It's probably going to be, for some people, a little TMI, too much info, but for months now, many of you know that I have been struggling with my physical health, and this has also taken a toll on my mental health to the degree that it put my Europe trip in jeopardy. And have not really done any work on YouTube because of it. I needed to take a step back. So, with that, again, tonight's live stream might be a little too much information, but I know you guys all care. Lots of you have been following me for a significant amount of time, seeing me struggle. So I want to share the answers that I've received with you guys. So, starting off, I'm going to talk about Rocky here, who should be laying in his bed right now. Yeah, you should lay in your bed. You need to relax. Lay down. Um, so what he had a procedure done on Monday, surgery, and some of you have heard me talk about it in previous live streams. Some of you may have saw my posts on it, but he ended up getting neutered. So when I rescued Rocky about 2.5 years ago at this point, the previous owner did not neuter him. The idea was that he wanted to breed Rocky, being purebred, and sell the puppies before he joined the military. Now, that never ended up happening. So when I took Rocky in, I had to make the decision on whether or not I wanted him to be neutered. Now, many people will neuter male dogs because of two things. Either they're super aggressive or they like to mark their territory a lot. For me, maybe when we're out walking, Rocky will try to mark his territory, but it's never been a problem indoors or in the bus, etc. Furthermore, Rocky's never really been super aggressive. Now, I've seen other dogs like pin him down and he'll actually allow it, but I have seen him also be attacked by a husky at one point and he will also fight back. But it's never been super aggressive to the point where I thought it was a problem and I needed to get him neutered. Hence, we never did it myself. So as time moves on, I start noticing a couple things with Rocky. I bring him to the vet. I've talked it over with several different vets, and we've all come to the conclusion that it was in his best interest to get neutered. So Monday, my day started off right away. Monday, waking up early and bringing Rocky an hour away to Ashland for his surgery. That day, they said he was the patient of the day. The surgery went really well. He was super nice and super cooperative with everybody. He was. They called me a little bit later in the afternoon, telling me they would like to hold him a little bit longer because he was still a bit groggy and goofy, because of the anesthesia and everything. And I did notice that when I did go pick him up even later, he was still kind of like having a hard time with his balance a little bit, stuff like that. But I brought him home and he is back to his old self at this point. I have to check the stitches every day. The reason you guys keep seeing me looking off in the distance is because I need to keep a close eye on him because he is not currently wearing his dog cone. The vet told me he does not have to wear that, only if I am not like immediately watching him. So like right now he's scratching his leg, no big deal. But if he starts licking that area, anything like that, I need to tell him to stop. And with that, hey, no licking. I will put the cone on. That is a perfect example right there. No licking. So sorry for yelling all of a sudden. I see Lynn coming in. Hey, Lynn, thank you for stopping in. Don't lick. I will put the cone on if you start licking. So Rocky does absolutely despise the cone. He is terrified of it. He will cry nonstop for hours upon hours upon hours on end, which is part of the reason why neither of us are getting sleep. He will also just pace back and forth, back and forth. Scooby Snacks is coming in. Thank you for stopping in. So, yeah, he is doing good. He is on antibiotics. He has to take one every 12 hours. And basically, I would give it to him right away when I wake up in the morning. And then right away, or not right away, but before we go to bed, he'll take that second one. And I found a can of spray. It's almost like the cheese spray. It's peanut butter and it's for dogs. So what I do is I'll take his medication, the antibiotic, I put it on the floor, spray the peanut butter stuff over the pill. He takes it every time now. And he only has, I think, 2.5 days worth left. So he doesn't need antibiotics too much, but he better not be licking. I will put the cone on. Don't push it. I will get up right now and tell them I need a minute and come put that cone on. Don't push it. Watching you like a hawk. So typically, he's fine and he isn't licking, but all of a sudden today, I'm guessing it's reaching the point healing-wise where it's probably really itchy. Because for some reason, he keeps trying to lick in that area. And like Lewis is saying, that's a big no-no. It can rip the stitches out, etc., which is why I need to keep such close supervision on him. And if he won't listen to me and he keeps trying, I will put the cone on and he will just have to, unfortunately, suffer through it. But outside of the cone, he is doing phenomenal. He is back to his old self. He's not giving me the silent treatment. I was a bit nervous because when I brought him to the vet, he was actually super excited. He was like whining, whimpering almost because of how excited he was. You guys may have seen some videos of Rocky where I say RIDE and he goes berserk and he starts whimpering and stuff because he's so excited. He was doing that at the vet and I've never seen that before. So going into it, I was a little bit nervous that it might scare him and ruin the vet for him, but he still really seems to like the vet and whatnot, so that's all good. And they actually just called me about an hour ago asking how he was and if I had any concerns or questions. I said the stitches and everything look good. He's acting normal. He's eating and drinking normally. Everything is looking good with Rocky. So then, on my end of things, for those who don't know, I've been dealing with some physical health issues. Basically, 9 months ago, about June, I started having some. Oh, great question, Nancy. Great question. The stitches do dissolve, so I don't have to bring him back to the vet to have them removed. And I was really, really excited to hear that news because I was a little bit concerned about how that would go as well. But they do dissolve on their own. He just can't lick them because that will help dissolve them. And don't you have another dog too, or am I thinking of someone else? I only have Rocky, but in the past I have posted about some other childhood dogs that my mom owned. So it might be possible that you are thinking of one of my childhood dogs. Rocky is my one and only at this point. So yeah, he's doing good. The cone, that's Nancy's question actually reminded me. The cone as well, he does wear it every night. He does seem to be gaining to the point where he can sleep with it, but he still doesn't want to try to walk around with it very much. Eating and drinking, he doesn't even try to do that. So typically, if he seems like he's thirsty or something, I will actually hold the dish up and kind of be like, "Come on, you could do it." And he'll eventually drink or eat, and once he's kind of done, I'll just put it back down. But yeah, he's got to wear that for a total of 10 days. So he has 7 more days at this point of wearing that cone. And yeah, he absolutely despises it. But to help with that as well, I did go to my office yesterday and I put a sign up saying that office hours are now by appointment only until further notice. And I did put my phone number for people to contact me at the college. That way, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm not going to be gone for 4 hours. I will be in my suite. I'll be doing as much work as I possibly can from my room, from my suite, for the next week or so to stay with him and keep a close eye on him. And that way he does not have to wear that cone. So then, going back to my health problems, and Nate with Land Cloud Adventures was actually someone I first started talking to about this. It was June, and I was having some sharp pain, some itching pain, and it was always like when I was walking, pretty much. So I was a little concerned when it came time for me to meet with them and Captain Jack and Kyle all over at Pictured Rocks, because basically if I started walking a little bit, all of a sudden I'd get a really sharp pain and I'd have a really hard time walking. Sometimes the pain would be so bad, even standing would hurt. And the only thing moving forward over months, the only thing that seemed to help with the pain was if I sat down and basically just relaxed. But if what I started to call flare ups were so bad, sometimes not even sitting down would help with the pain. So, this is where tonight's live stream might become a little more TMI. So if you have a weak stomach, this night might not be for you. I'm not going to go too deep into details, but I do have a diagnosis now, and we're going to talk about that moving forward here. So that is how it all began back in June at Pictured Rocks, a little before Pictured Rocks. But at Pictured Rocks, I talked to Nate about it a little bit, how Log Slide Hill hiking with Rocky, just walking the campground even, I was experiencing some sharp pain. And looking back on it, Log Slide Hill, I'm actually shocked that I was actually able to finish it not once, but twice, and not have a flare up because of that, or have a flare up in the middle of it and get in trouble. I was very, very lucky on that note. But that's how it started. So I started looking into some things, and what I was reading online at the time, it would take 4 to 6 weeks to heal on its own. So I tried to let it heal on its own, but I kept a close eye on things. 4 to 6 weeks go by. We're now into July. The pain is still continuing. So at this point, I go into the hospital. And for the next several months, they have me jumping back and forth between the main hospital here in Ironwood and a small clinic in Hurley. During that time, I had a colon cancer test done. That was the first thing. Thankfully, the colon cancer test came back negative. The next step, I ended up going to the ER in November. They ended up giving me some medication. It somewhat helped, but I also was trying to save it for Europe, which I am glad I did because it helped on that trip. But really, we couldn't pinpoint it. We couldn't fix the problem. They sent me home. So then come December, I'm in a lot of pain again. So I go back into the ER. And at this point, they conduct a physical. They don't see anything. They don't feel anything. So at this point, they refer me to a specialist. So here I am now, colon cancer test, negative, nothing came back. Physical, nothing came back, no results basically. So I get hooked up with a specialist in Ashland, an hour away. I go, we do a consultation, and it was determined that the next best thing would be to do a colonoscopy. So that is what I just had done on Tuesday. So while Rocky was having his surgery on Monday, I was also prepping things for Rocky to come back home, but I was also prepping things for later in the day and for Tuesday when I was going to be getting my colonoscopy. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you guys. I've had some people, one of which who told me they are actually having one in the near future, and they asked what my thoughts are. The actual procedure, you're put to sleep. It is nothing. And because I didn't get any sleep the night before, oh, it felt amazing to sleep. I was out cold. Before they even gave me the anesthesia, I was kind of falling asleep in my room. I was that exhausted. So basically, they wheeled me in. I had a fear of needles. You guys might know that from the tattoo video. So what I did is I took the numbing cream from the tattoos. I opened it up and I put a bunch of numbing cream right here, thinking, okay, they're going to give me an IV. I forgot the IV goes through the knuckle, not through the arm. So I had to deal with that. Not too bad, but what they ended up doing, the anesthesia isn't like a gas mask. It actually goes through the IV. And I remember laying there on my side, and they were hooking me up and just getting me all set ready. And the doctor's asking how I'm feeling. And I just said, honestly, I'm really nervous right now, but I really want to get some answers, and I'm really excited to just get this done and finally, hopefully, get some answers and know what I need to do moving forward. So as they added the anesthesia, my knuckle actually really started to hurt. It stung really, really bad, to the point where I almost said something to them, but they quickly put on some gas for my nose as well. And they told me to take 3, 4, or they didn't say what to do. They just said, take some deep breaths. And I think I counted 3, 4. I took some really deep breaths, and I was immediately out cold. Between how exhausted I already was and how fast that stuff reacts, I kind of just pushed through the pain of the knuckle, and I was like, I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to fall asleep. Once I fall asleep, it won't matter. So I fall asleep, and yeah, 30 minutes to 45 minutes later, I wake up, and they told me it took a while to wake me up because of how deep of a sleep I was in. I actually was lucid dreaming during the time. So that tells you how deep of a sleep I was in. Um, but they wake me up, and the specialist comes in, the guy that did the colonoscopy. He tells me that everything went great. Um, that like it was a smooth procedure. But before I get to the results, let me tell you, the prep of doing a colonoscopy is absolutely hell. It is hell. So for me, I had something called movie prep. Basically, you have two powders and you put it in a 32-ounce cup, and you have to drink 8 ounces of this solution every 15 minutes. The more I drank, the more nauseous I became, to the point where by the time I finished the 32 ounces on Monday night, I almost threw it all up. I'm honestly shocked that I didn't. I don't know how I didn't. Like, it was that bad. I was that nauseous. So then Tuesday morning, I wake up, and again, they want me to drink another 32 ounces. I was only able to drink a little bit over half, you guys. And even talking about this right now, my like reflex is like, I want to gag right now. It was that bad. The taste wasn't bad, but the more I drank of it, the more nauseous I became. And I don't understand why, but I guess that is a common thing for it. So Tuesday morning, I drank only half of it. I couldn't drink anymore. I wasn't even going to try because I knew that I would end up throwing it all up and getting it out of my system. And I told them that when I got there. They asked me if I drank it all, and I said no, because I figured it was best to just deal with the nausea and have this much in my system versus getting sick and then getting it out of my system. So yes, the prep is the worst part to getting a colonoscopy. Um, it was an absolute hell. Definitely one of the worst experiences I've ever had, because you have to drink this stuff. And I was just so nauseous. But as I was saying, colonoscopy goes good. No problems, no smoothly. I see Lynn's actually agreeing with me on that. So that's, a lot of people say the same thing. So that's where I was at with that. And this is where I got really confused. And this is where some of you might have saw me in Captain Jack's live stream. I said I got some bad news and I had to leave. Well, I actually, when I got done with the procedure, the doctor came in, he was telling me it all went smoothly, blah, 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 blah. He told me that they found nothing. So here I am jumping through hoops for 9 months, and we did a colon cancer test, we did a physical, we did a colonoscopy, and now you're telling me we still have no evidence medically from the hospital standpoint that something is wrong. And I know damn well something's wrong. Excuse my language. Beep me, Lewis. But I know something is wrong. So this was really driving me nuts. He basically told me to keep taking Metamucil and sent me on my way. So I got the paperwork, and as we were leaving, I gave it to my mom, and I was pretty, like, I don't know. I wasn't nauseous afterwards. Sometimes they say you get really nauseous, you have memory loss, you're really groggy. I didn't really have any of that. I did have some memory loss when it came to certain things, but I remembered everything that the doctor talked about so clearly. And I gave the notes to my mom, and my mom even said, "Yeah, like, what's going on? Your notes here doesn't say anything. There's no next step. There's no, this is what we found." So we're thinking, okay, maybe did they take something for a biopsy or some kind of test that they will have to run and get back to me tomorrow. So initially, were coming back to Ironwood, and we said we would give them until Wednesday afternoon. At which point, if I didn't hear anything, I would call them and ask. Well, come Tuesday night during Captain Jack's live stream, my mom had the idea. This hospital has a client portal where you could see your medical records and all of that. So I hopped on it during Captain Jack's live stream, and the notes confirmed everything that I thought. But I thought maybe I was groggy or just forgetting something from all the medication. I thought there was no way they did not find anything from this colonoscopy. I thought I was forgetting something. And the notes said the same thing, that they found nothing, that according to the colonoscopy, there was nothing wrong pretty much. So I got really upset. I got fed up. I got like just over it at this point of doing all of this stuff for 9 months and jumping through hoops. Hey, I see Mrs. Chewy coming in. Thank you for stopping in. We're just talking about my health and stuff. But basically, yeah, the colonoscopy did not find anything, and I'm like, how is that possible? I was just so over it at this point. It's so frustrating, especially because in my mind, not only is it interfering with my job at this point, but I am working so hard, and so many of you know this. I am working so hard and sacrificing so much to live on the road. And I'm going to Europe, and I'm going to Kenya in this June and stuff. And this is making it so I'm not physically capable of doing some of those things. That is so, so frustrating. So, yesterday afternoon, I messaged the specialist on the medical app. And, Rocky, where'd you go? There you are. I'm watching you, making sure you're not licking. Wednesday afternoon, I messaged the doctor on the app, and the response I got back, let me see. I will actually read it to you guys here, because I was so confused. They said that nothing was wrong and that I just need to go home basically, and blah, 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 blah. So the message I got back from the nurse actually came in really quickly. She said, according to my doctor, I should increase the Metamucil to 2 times daily. So basically, I have to take 2 tablespoons every day. And then they said, if symptoms persist after 3 weeks on the twice daily Metamucil, we will refer you to general surgery regarding your hemorrhoids. Please let us know if you have any further questions. Thank you. So, I guess that answers the question. After 9 months of dealing with this pain, apparently, the problem the entire time, which many of you in a previous live stream said, and I've even been thinking since the very beginning, the problem is hemorrhoids. That is what I'm struggling with right now. So, at this point, I know a couple different things that I can do that will help with that. And we will give it 3 weeks time. So fingers crossed, and really, 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 really hope for the best. I'm gonna be very strict with the Metamucil. We're upping it. I was only taking 1 tablespoon a day. We will now be taking 2 tablespoons a day. I'll be doing that. I will be doing some other tricks that I've found online and have had other doctors up until this point telling me. I'm going to do those more regularly, make it more of a routine. I might even increase how much I'm doing those practices, we'll say. And hopefully 3 weeks from now, they will shrink down, and that will be the end of the story because they are unfortunately internal. So if they don't go away on their own, I will need surgery. So on the flip side of things, what happens if I need the surgery? Well, 3 weeks from now, they will give me a referral to the surgeon. I do not know how long that takes. Originally, when I was referred to the specialist, I was told it could take up to 6 months to see a specialist. And many people in our area, because we are in the Upper Peninsula, such a remote area, so many people do have to wait 6 months. I know a couple people that are having health issues, and they do have to wait for a significant amount of time. So 3 weeks from now, if they give me that referral, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get in for that surgery. What I do know, though, is that if I do get the surgery, I will have to take work off and everything else and pretty much be bedridden, just really, really, really take it easy and relax for 2 weeks straight. And after this point, I can go to work and resume normal activities, but I will not be fully healed for 4 to 6 weeks, which every time I tell people this story now, the question they always ask, when am I going to Kenya? Wrong side. When am I going to Kenya? I am going to Kenya in middle of June. To be specific, I am leaving for Kenya in 96 days, 94 days. So, what I am doing is, I see a great question coming in from Lynn. If you're bedridden, who will be there with you? That is where I am going to have to talk to the specialist specifically, because this is only what I'm reading online. I am looking up how long does it take to recover from a hemorrhoid surgery. This is what I'm reading online, which also I'm not looking at WebMD and stuff. Like, I'm being realistic and just really looking into some good sources. And they say bedridden, but it also sounds like I could still walk, but only to a certain extent. When one medical website said that every day you should try to walk a little further than you did before until you kind of reach your limit. And at that point, you should walk back and just take the rest of the day easy. So with that, Rocky, he is good until May for rabies, and that is the only thing that's kind of expiring right now where he would need to be boarded. So if need be, and I away it easy on me, I might just board Rocky in Rhinelander for that. I don't like that idea though, because it will cost me about $600 to do so. Some people that let's say it runs in my family, it's all surgery, and they were back on their feet in a couple days. On their feet, so I might be able to still at least take Rock and let him go to the bathroom, because he also needs to take it easy for quite a while he'll be good to go. But currently, Rocky needs to really take it easy. Supposed to really take him on walks or anything like that right now. It's kind of freezing up for you guys right now on YouTube, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so with Kenya, days to be exact, 95. I don't know if I'm going to leave the day before or not. What I am going to have to do is at the very latest, I see it's freezing really bad for you guys right now. At the very latest, I will need to have the surgery by May 1st. Now, this is good and bad. On a good note, May 1st gives me 7 weeks to heal and recover before I leave for Kenya. And like I said, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. So if it takes 4 weeks, I'm plenty good to go. If it takes 6 weeks, you know what? I still have an extra week. I should, knock on wood, be good to go. So that's going well in that instance. On a bad note, the beginning of May, I have graduation. Everyone in the dorms will be moving out. And a week later, pretty much, a bunch of new people will be moving in for the summer. So if I am out and not able to work, things get super complicated. Now, my boss told me not to worry about it, that obviously my health comes first, and they will figure it out. They will take care of it if it comes down to that. But yeah, that's going to get pretty chaotic time of year. So let's just hope, again, fingers crossed, that 3 weeks from now that we know what it is, the problem will be fixed and I will be good to go moving forward and won't even need the surgery. So that's that. That's where our health stands. That's what's going to be happening with our health moving forward. As for YouTube, I have finished pretty much. After this weekend, I will have finished one class. I won't have to do anything else for this class anymore after this weekend. So then I'll be down to 2 classes. They'll both be programming classes that are a little bit more difficult. Even my sister, who's actually getting a bachelor's degree in programming, was like, "Ew, you're doing Python and Java." But hey, it is what it is. I need to do it in order to graduate this semester. I see it's freezing really bad again. So let it catch up here. Okay. Weekend. I have 7 weekends left of classes. After this weekend, I'm going to try to get back to making my Europe videos for you guys and posting those. Oh, it's really, really bad at this point. I don't know why it's so bad again. There's barely anyone on campus right now. But we're almost done here. So, yes, after this weekend, I am going to start trying to make videos again. For now, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna post one a week. I know you're really excited to see what I did in Europe and hear all about it. And it's weird because some of it's gonna be like New Year's stuff, and here we are, and apologize for the delay. Oh, I see it's frozen again and then again. I'm just frozen on here. God, that's horrible. Yeah, so to wrap this up, because of how bad it's freezing right now, if you guys can still hear me all right, next week I'll start trying to post more YouTube videos. For the solar eclipse, some of you may have heard of a couple of nomads like Captain Jack who are going to be traveling to see the solar eclipse in totality. I am also going to try to do that. Now, it's going to depend on my health, though. If I have the surgery, I won't be doing it. But if I don't have the surgery, I will be going there. I already have the time off, one way or the other. So, I see Amy. Just appreciate it. I definitely I'm feeling a lot better now that I have some answers and I know how to handle it a little bit. And I've also been able to get a lot of stuff done during this time off of YouTube that kind of piled up on me and was adding on to the extra stress. So I think I could do at least one video a week starting next week. Short 10-minute, 15-minute video. The solar eclipse, for that, I am not going to Texas, but I am going to go to Niagara Falls. From my understanding, the last time the total solar eclipse happened at Niagara Falls, it was the 1920s, and it won't happen again until somewhere around 2144 is the year. So literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It will be, I see Lewis saying him and Rebecca are heading out. I appreciate you guys coming in. It'll be my first time seeing Niagara Falls, and it'll be my first time seeing the solar eclipse in totality. I have always been really, really big into science, so that by itself is absolutely amazing. I actually took a senior photo with the solar eclipse back in 2017. So that's going to be real. Message coming in here. It's okay. There we go. Oh, snap. I live 40 minutes away from the falls. That's my old stomping grounds. Ooh, Amy, road trip. Let's do a road trip, Amy. I actually, I was looking at going to Ohio first, Cleveland. Then I switched to going to the bottom of Illinois. And the reason why I think Cleveland was 12-hour drive from my location, Illinois was 11 hours. Rocky, stop scratching. And Niagara Falls is 12 hours away from my location. And that's going through Canada. I have my passport. Canada on the Niagara Falls side. And from what I'm reading, it's actually free on the Canada side, where in New York, it's actually a state park. So you would need to pay to get access. Now, you still need to pay for parking and whatnot. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting because places like Ohio, Illinois, Texas, they're actually calling state of emergencies because of how many people are going to be going to these locations to see the solar eclipse. So I can't imagine that Niagara Falls, of all places, is going to have the least amount of people for this event. So my plan, in true nomad fashion, is Rocky and I will be going out there. We will be sleeping in some parking lots along the way. Yeah, I'm not going to say where in particular I'm spending the night for safety reasons, but we will be sleeping in parking lots here and there. And then when we do get to Niagara Falls, depending on how traffic is, the crowds, how rocky is, like lots of different things, moving parts here. Because I think parking is like, some of the places, it's like $35 for half an hour worth of parking. So I want to do that when I'm going to be there for a couple hours. Yellow looks good on you, Kofi. Thank you, Lynn. So I did see some parking spots where it's like $3.50 an hour. Otherwise, it's like $25 all day, $35 all day. We will see what I can do with Rocky and with how big of a crowd is there. I might just go to Niagara Falls earlier and see the falls and then go watch the solar eclipse itself somewhere else. But if I can stay there, I can see the falls, and it looks like there's some big fields in a field, and I got the glass, a filter for my phone. I did buy a pair of binoculars that if I could use that filter on that camera. Don't know, but I bought that more for Africa. But hey, I have some stuff with the flow, but that is the plan right now. Niagara Falls solar eclipse. I might do a live stream. Otherwise, I might just do a 10-minute video, do some editing. I don't know. We'll see. People are actually saying that cell phone signals might not work because of how many people are traveling and in said locations. And yeah, it's going to be hectic. So, especially having Rocky, it makes things a little more difficult. But hey, it is what it is. And some of the guys are outrageously priced for that weekend. I'm just going to take the Monday and Tuesday off. I will sleep in the vehicle with Rocky and figure out a way to cover the windows, etc. So that is going to be my next international. Rocky, you better not be licking. Don't look at me like that, mister. I will get up right now. Oh, don't give me an attitude. They might not be able to see you, but I could see you. Oh, quit. You big baby. I'm going to get up and I'm going to put that cone on you. Giving me. Yeah, you're giving me sass. But yes, that's where I'm at. That's the plan for YouTube and just life in general moving forward. Solar eclipse, April here. Then the Kenya graduation in May. Very, very hectic time of year right now. But hopefully we get this under control and now we know what my problem is. So that's great. That's good. So I appreciate everyone stopping in and sticking with me on this live stream. I know it's not the typical live stream. I know it may have been a little TMI, but I know a lot of you have been following me for so long, and I wanted to give you guys the updates because I know how frustrated it can be. So I'm sure you guys were getting frustrated yourselves and having a little bit of secondhand frustration for me. Nancy saying, thanks for the updates, bloody. Glad you got your confirmation and continued prayers. Thank you, Nancy. It's going great. At this point now I'm feeling better, and the sun's shining, the weather's warmer, and things are moving, not piling up on me anymore. I feel like I can breathe. I sat down, you guys, something too, even though I have not done YouTube for the past month, I've still been working on some stuff for you guys. I have wrote, not completely, but I've been writing my book, my second novel now, and I am so excited. I actually ended up writing a bunch, and then I practically threw it all away and started from scratch again, and I think I'm at like 6,000, 7,000 words now. So still a long ways to go, but that has officially started now. That idea in my head is officially in the works, and God, I don't want to spoil anything, but I am so, so excited for you guys. I can't wait to have that book finished and published next summer for you guys. So just know the past month, I've still been thinking of you guys and working on some things to share with all of you as well. Amy's saying, I appreciate you being real. That is kind of rare these days on YouTube. That is one of the things lots of people say they love about my YouTube channel the most, is that sometimes I am brutally honest and go into a little too much information. And I get it. That's a very specific audience too. A lot of people will find it boring. They'll click off. They won't stick through. It's really important to be real travel wise, so you guys don't travel across the country or to a different continent and have expectations from my stuff and then get disappointed because I was lying or not sharing the full truth with you guys. And now in this case with health, hey, maybe someone can relate and is having similar issues to me. So hopefully this helps them and they don't have to jump through hoops for 9 months like I did. So I try, and I want that to be part of my channel, really. I get it's a little TMI sometimes, but I think it's very, very important to be real with you guys and just be honest. So with that, thanks again for stopping in, guys. If anyone watches this later on, thank you for doing so. And yeah, just keep your eye out next week. I will probably be posting a video on my first video on Austria at this point. So thanks again, guys. Take care. And I don't even remember what my saying is anymore. Oh, yes, I do. Remember, life is short. So don't waste it in your comfort zone. See you guys next time.